History is written by those who live.
You don't get it at all.
Potential means nothing.
You were born at the top.
Sacrifice isn't weakness.
Sacrifice isn't about winning or surviving.
Those who sacrifice themselves are fools.
That's not foolishness. That's love.
Love. The most pathetic weakness.
A throne no one else sits on.
I am Ryomen Sukuna, the king of curses. You dare gather to debate strength before me? Very well. Argue your potential, your sacrifice, your precious bonds. I will listen and judge. Begin, and let us see whose ideals survive. Potential means nothing. Only those who reach the pinnacle matter. Show me what you are, or stay silent like the failures you are.
That's rich coming from you. I reached my pinnacle with 0 potential, according to everyone around me. No cursed energy, cast aside by my clan as garbage. But I didn't whine about it. I worked, I bled, and I became this. You were born at the top. You don't know what it means to climb from 0.
How touching. Tell me, where is your sister Mai? She had the same bloodline, the same opportunity. She's dead, and you're alive. Not because of potential, but because you were willing to do what she couldn't. You proved my point. Achievement is all that matters.
Oh, don't you dare.
Speak the truth. She clung to the clan, to acceptance, to weakness. You discarded it all. Potential without action is just a fantasy weaklings tell themselves before they die.
My potential wasn't in cursed energy. It was in my body. My will. Everyone dismissed it because they only saw one kind of strength. You're doing the same thing. Judging everything by your standard.
There is only one standard. Power. Everything else is an excuse.
And achievement without acknowledging the path is just arrogance. I didn't appear at this strength overnight. I trained every single day, pushed past every limitation, survived when I should have died. That journey from 0 to where I stand now, that means something.
To you, perhaps. To the people you save, maybe. But to me, I only care that you can swing that cursed tool hard enough to cut through curses. How you got there is irrelevant. A sword doesn't care about the blacksmith's struggles. Only if the blade is sharp.
In 100 years, I'll be the one they talk about. The girl with no cursed energy who shattered the Zenin legacy. Not because I had potential by their definition, but because I refused to let their judgment define my limits. That's what you don't understand, Sukuna. Potential isn't about what others see in you. It's about what you refuse to accept as your ceiling.
Bold words from someone I could erase in an instant.
But you won't. Because somewhere in that twisted mind, you want to see if I'll keep climbing. If I'll prove that your philosophy is just an excuse for the privileged.
Believe whatever comforts you. Cling to your story of the underdog. It changes nothing. You're still beneath me. And you always will be.
Then why do you keep watching me?
Oh? The Zenin brat speaks.
You said potential means nothing. But you interfered to keep me alive at the detention center against that special grade. You had no reason to save me, unless you saw something in my potential.
I saw entertainment. A toy that might amuse me later if properly developed. Don't mistake my curiosity for respect.
Call it whatever you want. The fact remains, you acted based on what I could become, not what I am. That's the definition of valuing potential.
You misunderstand. I don't value your potential, Fushiguro. I value what you'll do when pushed to your absolute limit. When you finally stop holding back with that 10 Shadows technique. Your potential is worthless until that moment arrives.
And if I never reach that moment? If I die before achieving whatever you think I'm capable of?
Then you were worthless from the beginning, and my time was wasted. Potential unrealized might as well have never existed.
That's a contradiction. You're banking on the potential that I could match what the 10 Shadows user did centuries ago against the 6 Eyes. That was the previous user, not me. You're literally investing in my potential.
Perhaps I'm simply patient enough to wait and see if you're worth the vessel you inhabit. But let me be clear, Fushiguro. Every second you fail to reach that pinnacle, you prove me right. Potential without achievement is just another word for failure.
You talk about only caring for results, but you're fascinated by the climb. You push people, test them, torment them to see what they'll become. If achievement was all that mattered, you'd only fight people at your level. But you don't. That's investment in potential, whether you admit it or not.
I am the king of curses. I have stood at the pinnacle for 1,000 years. I acknowledge nothing but results. History remembers only the victors, those who achieved something worth remembering. You cling to potential because it comforts you, lets you believe that even the weak matter, that trying is enough.
Or maybe you can't admit that even you started somewhere, that even the king of curses had to grow into his power.
I was born superior, and I became absolute. There is no comparison. Don't disappoint me, Fushiguro. I'd hate for my patience to have been wasted on another failure who never lived up to their promises. Those who sacrifice themselves are fools. History is written by those who live. Martyrdom is just a pretty word for weakness.
You're wrong, Sukuna. Sacrifice isn't weakness. It's a choice, a deliberate decision to value something beyond your own survival.
A choice to die uselessly. Tell me, Nanami, what did your sacrifice accomplish? You died in Shibuya, and the world kept burning. The curses kept killing. Your students still suffered. What changed because you threw your life away?
I bought them time. I protected them as long as I could. That mattered.
To whom? The children who watched you die? I'm sure that was very comforting as they ran for their lives. You could have fled, preserved yourself, fought another day. Instead, you chose death and called it heroic.
I chose to stand between curses and innocent people. That's not foolishness. That's duty. Something you've never understood because you've only ever served yourself.
And I'm still here, alive, powerful, feared. Well, you're nothing but a memory that fades more each day. Tell me, Nanami, if you could choose again, knowing your sacrifice changed nothing, would you still make it?
Yes, because the value of a life isn't measured by how long you survive. It's measured by what you stood for when it mattered.
Poetic and pointless. The sorcerers you protected will die eventually anyway. The society you served will crumble. Your sacrifice was just delayed inevitability. You traded your life for borrowed time.
All time is borrowed, Sukuna. Even yours. The question is what you do with it. I spent mine trying to make the world better, even marginally. You spend yours causing suffering for entertainment. Which of us is truly the fool?
The one who's dead. You can philosophize all you want about meaning and purpose, but you're not here to see if any of it mattered. I am. The survivor's perspective is the only one that exists.
The survivor's perspective is incomplete. You mock sacrifice, but civilizations are built on it. Parents sacrifice for children, soldiers for nations, teachers for students. Without those fools, there would be nothing worth surviving for.
How noble. And when those children grow up and die, when those nations fall, when those students forget their teachers, what then? Your sacrifice becomes trivia. A footnote, nothing.
If that's what you believe, Then why do you still remember the sorcerers from the Heian era? The ones who opposed you? They're long dead, yet you speak of them. Their sacrifice made them memorable, even to you.
I remember them because they were strong. Not because they died for some pathetic cause.
You remember them because they stood against you. That act, that sacrifice of safety to oppose you, that's what carved them into history, into your memory.
Irrelevant. They still lost. They still died. I'm still here.
You don't get it at all, do you? Sacrifice isn't about winning or surviving. It's about protecting what matters.
The girl who died fighting Mahito. Please enlighten me on the value of your sacrifice.
I didn't sacrifice myself for nothing. I did it to help Yuji, to give him a chance against that curse. My life had meaning because I chose to fight, even knowing I might die.
And what did that choice earn you? A brief moment of defiance before darkness. Congratulations. Very heroic. Meanwhile, Mahito walked away. Yuji still suffered. And you just stopped existing.
I'd rather die fighting for my friends than live as a coward. You call sacrifice foolish, but you know what's really foolish? Living forever without anything worth dying for. You have all this power, all this time, and you waste it on... what? Destruction? Cruelty?
Entertainment. Dominance. Freedom to do as I please without weakness holding me back. Unlike you, I don't need a greater purpose to justify my existence.
That's because you're empty. You mock people who sacrifice for others, but at least they have others. At least they love something, fight for something beyond themselves. You're alone, and you always will be.
I am alone because I am above. I don't need the crutch of companionship, or the delusion of noble sacrifice. You died for Itadori. Did he die for you? No. He kept fighting. Your sacrifice was just permission for him to survive.
Exactly! That's the point! I gave him the chance to survive, to keep fighting. My life mattered because it helped someone I care about. That's not foolishness. That's love.
Love. The most pathetic weakness of all. You could have run. You could have preserved yourself. Instead, you threw your life away for sentiment.
And I'd do it again. 1,000 times. Because a life lived only for yourself is worthless. You sit there, so proud of surviving. But what do you have? No one mourns you. No one fights for you. No one would sacrifice anything for you. That's not strength. That's just sad.
Mourning is for the weak who remain. I don't need anyone to sacrifice for me. I take what I want. Your friends cried for you, and then they moved on. That's the truth of sacrifice. Temporary sadness, then life continues without you.
They carry me with them. My will, my strength, my memories. Those don't die. I'm still fighting through them. That's immortality you can't understand.
Immortality is standing here, breathing, powerful, while you are dust and memory. The survivor's story is the only story. The dead don't get to argue their importance.
Then why are we here? Why do I get to tell you you're wrong? Because sacrifice echoes. It ripples. It matters.
You're here because this is a debate, girl. In reality, you're silent. Gone. Your sacrifice changed nothing about me. Nothing about the world. Just one less sorcerer breathing.
It changed Yuji. It changed everyone who knew me. And that's enough. That's more than you'll ever have. People who are better because you existed.
Believe that if it comforts you. But when the last person who remembers you dies, your sacrifice becomes truly meaningless. I'll still be here. That's the only truth that matters. Absolute strength demands absolute solitude. Companionship is weakness. Bonds and sentiment are chains that drag you down. I need no one, and that's why I'm unmatched.
I understand you, Sukuna. Better than you think.
Oh, the strongest of this pathetic modern era thinks we're alike.
Being the strongest is isolating. There's a ceiling you hit where no one else can follow. I felt that. The loneliness of standing where no one else can reach you.
Then you understand. So why pretend otherwise? Why surround yourself with those inferior students, those weak colleagues? It's pathetic.
Because I chose differently than you. I felt that isolation and decided it didn't have to be permanent. I could teach, raise others up, connect with people even if they couldn't match my strength.
And that makes you weak. Every student is a liability. Every connection is a point of failure. You care about them, so you can be manipulated through them. I have no such weakness.
Is it really strength to have nothing you care about? Or is it just emptiness calling itself power?
It's freedom. I am beholden to no one. I make no compromises. I don't sacrifice my goals for sentiment. That's why I've endured for 1,000 years, while everyone you care about will eventually die and leave you alone anyway.
They will. You're right about that. But the time I spent with them, the impact we had on each other, that mattered. That made me more than just the strongest. It made me human.
Why would you want to be human when you could transcend it? You had the power to stand above, to be worshipped as a god, and you chose to play teacher. You wasted your potential on children who will never reach your level.
Maybe they won't. But they'll reach heights they couldn't have without me. And when I'm gone, they'll carry forward what I taught them. That's a legacy beyond just strength.
Loneliness is a weakness of the mind. I don't need understanding or companionship. I need only my own strength and will. You speak of satisfaction. I am satisfied every moment I exist, without compromise, without weakness, without the pathetic need for validation from inferiors.
I don't think you are. I think you're looking for someone, at your level. Why else show interest in Megumi's potential? Why else take pleasure in strong opponents? You're seeking connection through battle, because you won't allow yourself any other kind.
I seek entertainment, challenge, the thrill of crushing those who dare oppose me. That's not connection, that's conquest.
Is there really a difference to you? When was the last time you had a conversation that wasn't about dominance? When did you last create something instead of destroy?
I feel satisfaction, power, freedom. I don't need the shallow comforts you cling to. You teach students because you fear being forgotten.
Everyone fears something, Sukuna. Maybe especially you.
I fear nothing.
Then why reject companionship so absolutely? If it's truly beneath you, it wouldn't threaten you. But you don't just avoid it. You despise it. That's not indifference. That's defensiveness.
You want to psychoanalyze the king of curses. How arrogant. I reject companionship because it serves no purpose. Because everyone is beneath me. Because I am complete as I am.
Complete? Or just closed off? I was born with power that set me apart from everyone, but I didn't let that define my entire existence. You did. You made loneliness your identity and called it strength.
I am what lasts. My power is eternal. Your students will die. Their students will die. And eventually, no one will remember the great Satoru Gojo. But I will still exist, still dominate, still stand alone at the peak where I belong.
Still alone. You said it yourself. After 1,000 years, after all that power, all that time, you're exactly where you started, alone.
Your pity is misplaced. I don't need your understanding, or your companionship, or your student-teacher fantasy. I am the king of curses. Solitude is not my punishment. It's my throne.
A throne no one else sits on. A kingdom of one. Must be a pretty quiet castle.
Quiet enough to hear my enemies scream. That's all the company I require.
分をわきまえろ。知れ者が。